I want to speak about this African tether you see on the screen before me that's telling us foundational black Americans if we want to go to war, let's see what it can prove. She's also calling for African and Caribbean business owners to lock their doors to foundational black Americans. She's also calling for African doctors to boycott their foundational black American patients. Now this is discriminatory practices all the way around the board. But you let an FBA brother or sister fail to receive adequate health care from one of these janky tether doctors, we gonna see to it in FBA society that that medical license, they won't be having it for much too longer. That we gonna see to it that that medical license gets revoked at the end of the day. So play with my people if you will. You're gonna find out quick, fast, and in a hurry that this ain't it, because them damn tethers in that medical industry, they got a long standing history of misuse and abuse of our people. So this ain't gonna be tolerated. We gonna see to it that that damn medical license gets revoked. Play with my people if you want. Now this Tethers video comes on the heels of her maybe hearing that there's going to be an August 1st boycott. Some in foundational black American society are planning the August 1st boycott the whole month of August of African and Caribbean businesses. And I think it all stems from, I'm not positively 100% sure, but I think it all stems from a sister over there on TikTok who might have went to one of these African hair care shops and got janky service, so she decided to do a boycott. So this Tether is putting out her video in regards to that. I say that we do boycott the African and Caribbean business owners, but I say we just don't stop there with boycotting them. I say that we roll this thing out all the way around the board and boycott all these damn tethers. The African tethers, the Caribbean tethers, the East Indian tethers, the Asian tethers, the Latinos, the Arabs, you name it. We roll this thing all the way out, the whole way around the board, because let's be honest, none of these damn people give a damn about our people, and they all, give janky, inadequate service to our people. So I say that we boycott them all because we got, the power, as an FBA collective, we got a $3 trillion spending power. And I say that we weaponize that spending power and start spending our money with other FBA brothers and sisters, in their particular businesses and industries, and if we ain't got, that business or that industry, we create it, because ain't a damn thing that we as foundational black Americans, can't do. The power lies with us. We say, what can fly and what can't fly. And if we don't get behind things and co-sign and endorse it, it flops the same way that Essence thing did. So I got the audio and the video of this African tether, telling us foundational black Americans, if we want a war, let's see what it can do, and us foundational black Americans, we were born war ready and we stay ready, so we ain't got to get ready. And these fleeing tethers ain't ready for no war. When the going gets tough, all they know is put on their flip-flops and flee. So I got the audio and the video, like I said, family, and we're going to walk through and talk about this thing. Fair use.
If only this reached the consensus of all African and Caribbeans, everybody from Jamaica, Trinidad, Haiti, and Africa. If this meet your consent, since the black American want to go to war, let's try, let's see. All of us that call out one day from work, all of us across the United States, all immigrants call out from work. Yes. If they want to go to war, let's see what they can prove. And also, all immigrants, like your businesses from all black Americans, simple as that. Don't let them go into your grocery store. Don't let them go into your
Lock your doors from foundational black American brothers and sisters if you want. We got a $3 trillion spending power. I bet you that business go out of business quick, fast, and in a hurry, because we say what moves and what don't move. But let's continue.
let them go into your restaurant. Don't let them go into your salon. You want to go to war? We will. And also, we can ask all our African doctors, yeah, boycott all black American treatment. Like I said.
Yeah, go ahead and be dumb if you want. Play with my people if you want to. You're gonna find out quick, fast, and in a hurry that this ain't it. You let an FBA brother or sister fail to receive, adequate health care. We in FBA society gonna see to it that that medical license gets revoked quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Said, you don't want to go to war with African. Trust me. We are 54 freaking country. The population.
54 countries, and over there in Africa, y'all got the majority, but none of y'all can come on cold. Y'all, you too tribal, cutthroat, and none of y'all can get it together, So, that don't mean a damn thing. Y'all all flee over here because y'all ain't got the wherewithal and tenacity to get it together in your homeland. But let's continue.
We are 54 freaking country. The population of African in the United States is more than your black American population.
Hold on, y'all don't got more of a population than us. We're 44 million strong as foundational black Americans over here on the U.S. soil, our homeland. So y'all don't got, more of a population than us. So you could stop, with the tether lies, the tether lies, you could cut that out, truth be told.
Just so you know, that's the reason why 64% of the Democratic vote is immigrant. And out of that 64, 54 is black.
We know that, you damn immigrants are supporting the Democratic Party. That's why, we sat it out. We voted for the couch, as foundational black Americans, last election. Because, the Democrats will sit up here and lift all of these damn immigrant groups and give them all this damn set aside money and resources, but, fail to give us resources as foundational black Americans in our justice claim, which is cash reparations. So we know that, y'all in large part, supported the Democrats, but we ain't support them. And that significant number of foundational black Americans that didn't support the Democrats caused their narrow asses to crash and burn. But let's continue.
Of the Democratic vote is immigrant. And out of that 64, 54 is black. So black America, you don't want to go to war with us. At this point, I don't care if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican. Because the stupid black Republicans that are being controlled by the white tea brought this up. And it seems to be that some of you on the Democratic Party side are also getting along. So you want to pick that fight? We can do so. Yeah, we can ask our 54% vote to boycott the coming elections. Oh, yes.
Y'all ain't got that much power. If y'all got that much strategicness and on coldness and power and oneness, y'all would apply that to your homeland, and your homeland would be better, and you wouldn't have to flee up over here to America, the land that us FBAs built. But let's continue.
I guarantee you, when we boycott it, you will have no seat.
And just because you throwing out a bunch of numbers, you tether, don't mean that you saying nothing bright or smart. But let's continue.
Don't play with us. We are calm. We don't intend to insult nobody. We don't look down on anybody. You went through pain. We went through pain. Yes, you went through slavery. We went through slavery in our own house. But we decided in Africa that we're going to put the past behind. We're going to fight for a better Africa.
You ain't fighting for a better Africa, no way. So stop telling that tether babble and lie, because you can't fight for a better Africa sitting up over here under us foundational black Americans. No one hates they place of origin and their homeland more than a fleeing tether in all actuality, because if they had that much love and respect for their homeland, they would have stayed there and fought to make it better. But let's continue.
You want to tell us you're the only people that ever went through slavery? No, the Caribbean, Haiti is still going through slavery. Jamaica went through slavery. Trinidad went through slavery. I can name you more.
We as foundational black Americans, we never sat up there and said we're the only people that went through slavery, but we different, and the difference is we never ran, never fled, never will. See, tethers, when the going gets tough and that opposition hits, they throw on their flip-flops and flee. We as FBAs are still on our ancestral homeland. Let's continue.
Trinidad went through slavery. I can name you multiple other African nations that went through slavery. But we don't come out here dragging to ourselves, oh, we suffer history, somebody got to pity party us. No. We work our ass out because we don't want the white man to tell us what to do. That's why we work. That's why we don't want to live.
Y'all love the white man. Y'all worship the ground the white man walks on, and y'all ain't nothing but buffers used in the system of racism, white supremacy to ensure that we don't get, our resources as foundational black Americans and our justice claim in the form of cash reparations. But let's continue.
History, somebody got to pity party us. No. We work our ass out because we don't want the white man to tell us what to do. That's why we work. That's why we don't want to live on the system. So if you're jealous and you're angry about that, go do the job that we do. Go to school. That's all you need to do.
She one of them tethered that I came over here with $2 and I just work hard, but what they not saying is that, they giving all these damn resources and aid, when they come over here. And, we as foundational black Americans, our ancestors made that lane for them to flee their narrow asses and behinds over here. And we're locked out of them resources and aid, and set aside when we go to get them, so that's a bunch of complete nonsense that they come over here with $2 and they just work so hard. Because if they worked that hard, they would have took their hard work and them ethics and applied it in their homeland instead of fleeing up over here. But let's continue.
Go to school. That's all you need to do. I saw your video where you calling for them to boycott African restaurant and
Yeah, but family, in closing, I say that we boycott the African tethers along with, the damn East Indian tethers, the Latino tethers, the Arab, the list goes on and you name it, because we're foundational black Americans and we say, what's hot and what ain't hot. We got a $3 trillion spending power. And if we don't, get behind things, they're going to flop quick, fast, and in a hurry. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.